censorship, they mirror that starting point of totalitarian systems. They put forward a particular ideology or particular public policy proposal and say, citizens are not allowed to question this. Citizens are not allowed to present evidence that might call this public policy into question. And in fact, if they do so, we're going to label them as dangerous. We're going to algorithmically, let's say, on social media, exclude them from the realm of public conversation. We're going to limit their reach. We're going to limit the ability of other people to hear their ideas. This is where totalitarian systems always begin, and in fact, this is where totalitarian systems always end up. Once the ideology is sufficiently adopted by enough members of the population, once people get used to the idea that I'm not allowed to ask questions, and they just internalize those prohibitions, at the end point of that process, you don't even need concentration camps or secret police or mass surveillance anymore, because every citizen becomes a member of the Gestapo or the KGB. Every citizen starts silencing their fellow citizens if they raise any inconvenient questions that might challenge the ideology. This, according to Hannah Arendt, who studied the totalitarian systems of the 20th century, this becomes then the worst form of imprisonment, in a sense. And she draws a distinction between dictatorships that rule through external force, and they rule by means of instilling fear in the population. I'm not going to say the wrong thing because I don't want to get punished by the regime. I'm not going to challenge the dictatorial ruler and his ideas because he might then come down on me or do something to harm me or harm my family. A totalitarian regime uses external force initially to try to funnel people into the ideology, but eventually the totalitarian system no longer needs to use external force because people have internalized the ideology. In a dictatorship, you still at least have the interior freedom, even if your exterior freedom is constrained, you still have the interior freedom to think your own thoughts and to have your own opinions and to have your own judgments. You might voice them only very carefully, and you might not voice them at all, but you can still think them on your own. But in a totalitarian system, in a perfectly enacted totalitarian system, you don't even have that, because the ideology has become so internalized that the questions no longer occur to you. The dissenting thoughts no longer occur to you. You're in a prison with invisible bars without even realizing that you're in prison. Your interior freedom has also been subsumed into that totalitarian system.